When I saw the notification on her iPad, my stomach dropped. The message wasn't meant for me, but it was impossible to ignore. My wife, Rebecca, had sent a text to her ex, the kind of text that left no room for misunderstanding. My hands shook as I read the words. Flirtatious, intimate, familiar. The realization hit me like a punch. She wasn't just hiding something. She was openly crossing a line I had trusted her never to approach. We had been married for 6 years. 6 years of shared mornings, late-night talks, and promises whispered in the dark. Rebecca had always been my anchor, the one person I thought I could trust above all. But as I held that iPad, synced to our home account, I realized how fragile that trust had been. Fragile and now shattered. I sat down in the living room, my mind racing. I could hear her coming down the stairs, humming softly, completely unaware that I knew. She was in her casual Sunday attire, hair tied up, carrying the coffee she always brewed just for me. The contrast between her innocent appearance and the betrayal I had just uncovered made my head spin. "Good morning, Mark," she said cheerfully, setting the cup down. "I thought you'd be awake by now." I didn't respond. I just held the iPad out in front of her. Her smile faltered. "What's that?" she asked cautiously, a small tremor in her voice. "Care to explain this, Rebecca?" I asked, my voice calm but cutting. "You sent this message to your ex." Her face went pale. She glanced at the screen and then back at me, her eyes wide. For a moment I thought she might lie, but the truth was already written all over her expression. She froze. It's not what it looks like," she stammered. I shook my head slowly. "Not what it looks like. Rebecca, this is exactly what it looks like. You're talking to your ex behind my back. Flirting. Sending things you should only send to me. How is this not betrayal?" She opened her mouth, then closed it again. Her hands fidgeted nervously with the edge of her sleeve. I could feel the tension in the room rise, the silence stretching longer than any argument could. The morning sun illuminated the truth in her eyes. Guilt, fear, and a flicker of panic. I set the iPad down on the counter. "I don't know how we got here," I said quietly. "I trusted you completely, Rebecca. And now I don't even recognize you. You brought your past into our home, and I can't stay blind to it any longer." She tried to speak, but I cut her off. "Don't. Not now. Not ever." Rebecca sank into the couch, her hands covering her face as if hiding could erase what she had done. The room felt heavier with every passing second, the weight of betrayal pressing down like a physical force. I watched her silently, my heart pounding, not out of anger, at least not yet, but from a hollow ache that seemed to consume everything inside me. I didn't mean to, Mark," she whispered, her voice breaking. "It was just a text. I didn't think it would matter." I shook my head slowly. "A text? Rebecca, it wasn't just a text. It was a choice. A deliberate, conscious choice to involve yourself with someone else. You knew the consequences, and yet you did it anyway." She looked up, tears glistening in her eyes. "We've been distant lately. You barely talk to me anymore. I felt lonely. I thought it was harmless." "Lonely?" I echoed softly, almost laughing, but it came out bitter. "You felt lonely, so you went back to someone who isn't me? Someone who belongs to your past." She opened her mouth, trying to form words that could explain the inexcusable, but the silence in the room swallowed them. I wanted to feel anger, but instead there was just a strange emptiness. The woman I had loved for years had crossed a line I didn't even know could exist between us. Her hands trembled as she reached for mine. "Please, Mark. Don't leave. We can fix this. I promise I'll stop. I'll do whatever it takes." I pulled my hand away, keeping my distance. "Fix this? You want to fix it now? Rebecca, the trust we had isn't something you can repair with promises after it's been broken. You made your choice, and that choice brought us here." She broke down completely, sobbing uncontrollably. I wanted to turn away, to leave, but I stayed, if only to witness the truth settle over her. The truth that some actions have consequences that can't be undone, that some betrayals leave scars too deep for forgiveness. I moved to the kitchen, needing air, needing space to think. The iPad sat on the counter like a symbol of everything I had lost. For years I had believed in us, in the life we were building. And now that life felt like a lie, shattered by a message that carried more weight than any confrontation could. Rebecca followed, her voice soft, trembling. Mark, please. I was drunk. It didn't mean anything. I turned to face her, my expression cold, my voice steady. It didn't mean anything? Then why does it hurt more than anything I've ever felt in this house? Why do I feel like the person I loved is gone? She swallowed hard, unable to answer. The room fell silent except for her quiet sobs, the sound echoing in my mind. I stood there, watching her crumble, realizing that nothing she said now could undo what had been done. The person I had trusted, the woman I had built my life with, was now someone I barely recognized. Shame and fear filled her eyes, but pity no longer existed in mine. I had loved her, and now all I could feel was the weight of betrayal. I can't do this anymore, Rebecca, I said quietly, each word deliberate. I can't pretend that everything is okay when it isn't. You chose to betray me. You chose to bring someone from your past into our home, into our life. And I can't stay silent anymore. She reached for me, desperation in her eyes. Please, Mark. Just give me a chance. We can work through this. I love you. I shook my head slowly. Love isn't just words. Love is trust. And you destroyed that trust. She sank to the floor, burying her face in her hands. I made a mistake. Please. I'll do anything. Anything to make this right. I turned away. There was nothing left to say. Years of shared memories, laughter, and dreams felt hollow now, replaced by the bitter taste of reality. I grabbed a small bag, started packing the things I couldn't bear to see every day. Clothes, personal items, small reminders of the life we once had. All of it went into the bag. Rebecca watched in silence, her sobs quieting as the finality of the moment sank in. No amount of tears or pleas could undo what had been done. I handed her the iPad, the instrument of her betrayal, and said, "Take it. But remember, this isn't just about a device. It's about choices and consequences. You brought this here, and now you have to live with it." She nodded, unable to speak. Her eyes met mine one last time. A mixture of regret, sorrow, and fear reflecting back at me. I left the house that morning, walking away not with anger, but with clarity. I had made my decision. I was done. Weeks passed. The house felt emptier than ever. But in that emptiness I found a strange peace. I no longer needed her explanations, her excuses, or her apologies. The truth had been exposed, and with it, the freedom to reclaim my own life. Sometimes, betrayal isn't just about the act itself. It's about the moment you realize someone you trusted is no longer the person you thought they were. And when that moment comes, walking away isn't weakness. It's courage. Rebecca had texted her ex. She had broken the most sacred trust. And I walked away, finally free from the shadow of her deceit.